Hey Explorers, this episode was brought to you by Anchor.fm. It's the distribution service that we use to get this podcast to you. And to be honest, it's great. It's free. There's tons of creation tools that let you edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. They upload it to everything, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and tons of others. You can even make money with no minimum listenership. So it's got everything you need in just one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Be your song of rest. Bards have such high charisma, you can see why.
Welcome back to Russell's Radio D&D podcast where we teach you about the rules of our religion. What is this? What are we going to do today? The Bard.
Welcome.
Welcome to the D&D podcast, rules as written.
Yes, it's the rules.
And we tell you how to play them, maybe.
Yeah, but the way that they're written.
Not the way you want.
Yeah, it's like the King James Bible of rules.
It's actually great.
Yeah.
So, today we're looking at the Bard.
Yeah, what is a bard?
What is a Bard? A Bard is...
Toot my magic flute.
That's good. You know when you see those quotes from like Bob Marley, it's like, when music hits you, you feel no pain. But
there's a spell for that.
But like, this music hurts.
Yes. Or it causes extra pain.
Exactly. So, Bard is a spell-casting class. The first spell-casting class.
Yeah, they're the charismatic ones.
They are. They roll off charisma. You want charisma to be your highest stat. The fluff and flavor. What's the fluff and flavor of bards?
Bards are the ones who are kind of jack of all trades. They are able to do like many different things as spellcasters, many different things as combat enthusiasts.
I think they might be one of the most flexible and safe classes.
You can do a lot with a bard.
Yeah, they've got... We'll come to all the rules. There's tons of stuff you can do, but also I think they can be... I mean, everything can be OP, but I think it lends itself to being OP a bit more, especially if you're a halfling and you get halfling luck.
Fudge your rolls a little bit with them.
Yeah, you get tons of proficiencies. Let's jump in. So they use music as magic. That's their shtick, their spiel.
Yeah, so we talked about an arcane focus in our previous episodes on magic.
Yep.
Bard's arcane focus will be their musical instruments.
Makes sense.
Most likely, unless you want to really like stretch what is possible.
Talk to your DM first.
Yeah. If you can make music from it, it's too magical arcane focus.
So we said charisma. If we're building a bard, we're going for a quick and dirty bard, which I think all bards are in some way. That was very funny, JT, and I'm hurt.
Sorry. There's a little bit of lag.
Perfect. It's okay. I'm used to it. Being your friend is difficult, but it's a challenge that I rise to.
Yeah, the internet's not good.
All right. So what do we want our stats to be?
Okay, so obviously charisma is your highest one because you want to be smooth with the ladies or the men, or the non-gendered, elemental types.
Genocide.
Genocide. And then the other one is probably going to be your dex. Because that's your main proficiency in like your weapon choices and your saving throw.
Yeah, I mean they can work with many weapons, but they lend themselves to finesse weapons.
Yeah.
To kind of push in that direction. It kind of adds up in a nice way.
Yeah, since like we'll talk about what weapons you can use, they tend to be dex based.
They're 1d8 hit dice. They're one of the tougher spellcasting classes.
Yeah, they're not as like spongy as a wizard, but they're not quite.
Sponges can take damage. A barbarian would be spongy.
Yeah, but if you leave a sponge out in a cold, damp environment, it's prone to mold.
Water elementals. All right, you saved it, wasn't it? Proficiencies.
Yeah, so you're proficient in light armor,
Okay, so that is
like leather armor.
a set amount of AC plus your Dex modifier, which is again pushing you into having a high Dex modifier.
Yes. Your weapon proficiencies will be simple weapons, hand crossbows, long swords, rapiers, short swords.
Yeah, it explicitly mentions finesse weapons and Dex-based weapons.
Yeah, like imagine like a hobbit, what they can use. And for tools, they can use 3 musical instruments of your choice. Most people just choose 1. You can get 3.
Yeah, you can start a band, a one-man band. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, getting some flashbacks from the Mary Poppins movie with
Getting a Victorian one-man band, but that's actually someone's done that.
Yeah.
And I want to play in that game.
little kick drum thingy and flute in front and maybe a little Bob Dylan harmonica.
So you have any 3 musical instruments for your tools. Nothing else though. You don't get anything funky, gaming sets or
Yeah, that's your
anything like
proficiencies.
I feel like they should get a gaming set. Why don't they get a gaming set? I don't know. That just feels like they should, you know?
I don't think bards have the patience to sit down and like play a game of chess. Dragon chess. 3-tiered dragon chess.
Having played with bards.
Yeah.
Their saving throws are Dex and Con, as
Charisma.
Dex and Charisma, as previously mentioned. And their skills are interesting. Now, most classes, I think all other classes, you choose from a list of like 4 to 7 or so. Bards, you just choose any 3.
Yeah, so that kind of sets the tone for the bards, right? It's like you can just choose any 3 from all of the skills.
Yeah, they're flexible.
Yeah,
they're
so if you want like a blank canvas to work with, like a bard is a pretty good one.
Yeah, especially if you want a spellcaster.
Yeah.
Then
you can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah. They are also quite good in combat as well.
Can be.
If you spec them that way.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the spellcasting. How does spellcasting work?
So you can get 2 cantrips when you start out as your level 1 bard, and you get additional cantrips based on the bard
table. So
the bard table.
All classes have a table, and that table will tell you all sorts of information. It's very chunky for the spellcasters because it tells you all your spell slots.
Yeah, so when you want to level up, just scan the section of your class page for your table.
Yeah. It's very big, it's very obvious. There's a little section on that called cantrips known.
And that's how many cantrips you know.
Simple enough. How does the actual spellcasting work though?
So when a bard gains a new spell, you know that spell. Like, you'll have the amount of spells on your spells known section of your table, and you get to add that spell into your known spells.
Okay, so every class kind of does spells a little differently, how they remember them and know them.
Yeah, like this might sound kind of like, oh, this is an intuitive way, like you just know these amount of spells. But for example, like wizards, you will have to record these spells into your book.
Yeah, and you can also learn new spells on the fly.
Yeah, without leveling up necessarily.
Yeah, bards explicitly need to level up.
Yeah.
So you'll have a little column, spells known. When that number goes up, which it does every level.
Yeah.
I think it just goes up by 1, occasionally 2. You can add a new spell for a spell slot that you have. So at level 1, you know first level spells. You know 4 first level spells. At level 2, you know 5 first level spells. And then at level 3, you'll know 6 spells. But you'll also unlock your second spell slot. So you should be able to have 5 first level spells and 1 second level spell. Because now you can choose from the second level list.
So in the table, it says you know 4 spells, but for a level 1 bard. But there's a number 2 under the first spell level.
Yeah, so that's your spell slots. So you can use every long rest 2 first level spells, but you know 4. So you can use 2 of your 4 spells that you know, and the same one twice per long rest. Those are like your charges. We talked about it in the magic episode.
Yeah.
It is separate to your cantrips known. So you know 4 first level spells and 2 cantrips.
Yeah.
And then at level 3,
you'll know 2 cantrips, probably 5 first level spells, and 1 second level spell. You could, in theory, choose 6 first level spells.
Yeah.
But that would be interesting.
That's a play style.
That's a play style. So that's how you know spells. Your spellcasting ability is Charisma. We talked about that. There is the standard ways to calculate your spell save DC and your spell attack modifier. We talked about those in a previous episode.
8.
To go over them quickly, the spell save DC is
8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your charisma modifier.
And the spell attack modifier is
Your proficiency bonus plus your charisma modifier.
And a nice added dash, bards are ritual casters.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about what ritual casting is in our magic episodes. You can go back to that and listen if you haven't seen it before. And bards are able to do that. So you can cast any bard spell you know as a ritual if that spell has the ritual tag, which you can read on the spell.
Cool. And they can use spellcasting focuses. Not every class can do that. Spellcasting class.
Yes, that's where your music.
Yeah.
That's where your magic comes from. In your music.
All right. Awesome. Now, let's get into the
most important thing about. So for, if you listen to our barbarian episode, it's all about rage there, you mad? If we had to reduce the bard to what's your main damie, it's bardic inspiration.
They're a buff class.
Yeah, you buff.
They buff.
Yeah, this is something that's really easy to be able to do to make a pretty big impact on combat and really anything for your party.
Definitely.
When you use your bardic inspiration, you are playing some inspiring music, maybe giving some encouraging words.
Like I did at the start of this episode.
Yeah. It has to be interpreted as praise, though.
That's a flavor. There's a little flavor thing there.
Yeah. So you have to choose one creature other than yourself within 60 feet of you who can hear you. That creature gains 1 bardic inspiration die, a d6 when you're first starting out.
Okay. That changes, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then it operates like inspiration die in how we've talked about before.
Inspiration die is our rule. That's not in the main rules. So the way we do it, I think I've touched on it, is that if a player does something cool, as a DM, I give them an inspiration dice.
Yeah, that's a very common thing that a lot of DMs have adopted.
Yeah, there's something in the rules to that effect, but my little twist on it is the cooler the thing, the higher the dice. So if you do, just having a nice rest in a really nice tavern can get you a d4, and you can apply that to any role in my game.
Yeah.
You can just add a d4 to it. If you do something absolutely balls to the wall, or buy me chocolate IRL, I can give you a d20.
Yeah, there's a lot of corruption going on in our game.
So how does the dice change for the bard?
So it's a d6 when you first start out. That will become a d8 at 5th level, a d10 at 10th level, and a d12 at 15th level.
So that's bardic inspiration. You're giving people buffs. And what can they use these dice on? Can they use them on any roll?
They'll have to use it within the next 10 minutes.
Okay, so you can't save them.
Yeah, this is going to be probably in relation to something that's happening. And you can use it to add that number to one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw.
That's pretty good.
Quite versatile.
What action do you have to take to use it?
It's a bonus action, so you can do this in conjunction
It
with another
is,
thing.
however, not a reaction.
Yeah, so you
which
can't use it
is a
in,
bit of a missed opportunity, I think. Maybe that would make it too OP, but overpowered.
What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on that, Timmy?
I don't know, there's many times where, if you're just out of turn or something, I'm not sure. Maybe just as a bonus. It depends how you do your turns. I think many people homebrew their turn orders and things. You can hold bonus actions and do them out of turn. There's so many ways. Again, do what feels good for your party. But rules as written, you have to do all your...
Bonus action.
Yeah, you have to do all your actions on your turn. So if the situation changes, I hope you predicted that situation.
Yeah.
So that's bardic inspiration.
Yes, and you can actually, if you have received your inspiration dice, you can wait until after you roll the d20 before deciding to use it.
So you can see if you think you failed or not.
Yeah, so if you roll pretty poop, you can do a little
That's
bardic
good.
inspiration die. And
That's
then
something different I do with my inspiration die. You have to roll them with your...
Yeah, it's like more gambling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
All or
it.
nothing. But rules is written, you're able to do it after you do your skill check. So you can roll the d20 and any modifiers that you have for that, and then choose to use it afterwards if you want.
Cool.
And you are able to do this a number of times equal to your charisma modifier, a minimum of once. If you pooped out your...
Yeah, you're going to start with 3 probably times, and then
if
by
you've-
level 10 you should have 5
Yeah.
to throw. Is it per short rest or long rest?
This will be regained when you finish a long rest. All
Okay.
of them at once.
So that's bardic inspiration.
Yeah, that's one that's good to memorize. Remember to use it.
Yes.
It can be underutilized a lot, and that will be to the detriment of your party, I think.
Yeah. So I think the next skill is one of those things that tells us how flexible a bard is. What's the next skill?
Jack of all trades. So at second level, you can add half of your proficiency bonuses, rounded down to any ability check you make that doesn't already include your proficiency bonus.
So basically you have half proficiency on anything you're not already proficient in.
Yeah, just like, oh, were you not proficient in all these things? Well, now you are, kind of.
That's pretty... Yeah, that one pretty much says itself.
Yeah, you pick up stuff quick.
Yeah, it's... I'm not sure. I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest.
Yeah, you don't like that one.
It feels a bit empty.
Well,
It's
it kind of
like a
goes
bit
into the
nothing.
it goes into the like canvas motif of like bards, where it's
Yeah,
like I
I
don't know
understand.
exactly what especially if you're just starting out. This is a good one to
There's
be like.
yeah,
you
there's
can
definitely a
hold
place
off
for
on
it.
deciding exactly how you want to play or like what you want to do.
Yeah, there's definitely a place for the bard archetype in real world situations, but in a group of players that all know what they're doing and stuff, I feel bards are a bit almost directionless.
Well, they could be maybe a Swiss Army knife of situations.
That's kind of what I don't like in games.
You like to have people specialize.
Because I am a real believer, and I try not to force this. God knows I fail, but I try not to force that. It's the failings of a party that make the story interesting.
Oh, you make that happen.
It's the failings. It's the weaknesses. If you're just good at everything, then there's no challenge. And obviously that's taking it to the extreme. But I think if you have some things that you're not really good at, you have some big holes in your party, then that can force creative thinking out of the party, which can lead to some really cool situations. And the bard kind of goes against that. And I understand that's a subjective philosophy.
It will kind of like fit into that, like, well, any situation that you don't have, if you have like a party of 3 and then nobody is particularly good at deception or whatever, then it's kind of a give it to the bard kind of thing. You can just kind of fit into everything.
I get what you mean. What's next?
Song of Rest. This will also be on second level, and this is whenever your party is taking a short rest, you can use this time to toot your magic flute and heal any friendly creatures who can hear your performance.
Nice.
This will be extra 1d6 to their hit dice that they get to roll, which we talked about in a previous episode.
Regardless of their hit dice.
Regardless
it's
of their
always 1d6,
hits.
right?
Yes, always 1d6. And that will increase when you level up. So 1d8 at 9th level, 1d10 at 13th, and 1d12 at 17th.
So it's just another passive. Every time you short rest, you heal a bit more. Everyone heals a bit more.
Yeah, that's really nice for those games where you might do a little bit more short rests versus long rests, and like you have more opportunities to heal everybody.
Yeah. I think the bard is really, really good. It actually shines most having an experienced player with a load of new people. If I was in a group and there's 3 people who've never played D&D before, and I as a player, and I'm playing D&D, I think I'll try and choose a bard.
Because you can really lean into that support class.
Yeah, and you can really help some people have some fun and like really make D&D shine.
Yeah, like let me make the thing that you want to do even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's dope. At 3rd level, you'll choose your college. Now we're going to get into
Go to college.
We're going to get into colleges later, so we're going to bump over this for a bit and jump straight to the other thing you get at 3rd level, which is... Expertise.
Yeah, I don't believe we've talked about expertise, have
A
we?
few classes have expertise.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about them.
So what is expertise, Toby?
You basically double your proficiency.
You get to choose 2 of your skill proficiencies, and then you get to double that proficiency for any of those skills.
Okay. It's got to be something you're already proficient in. It doesn't stack with Jack of all trades.
Yeah, so you'll have to choose the thing that you
And
are
you just become
doubling.
really good
Yeah.
at it. I feel this could be improved a bit by having, like, adding a dice instead. I feel expertise should be D6 at X level, D8 at X level.
Toby likes the gambling rules.
I just like variation. I'm not a big fan of just the
Want
flat
randomness. Want the
flat
randomness.
bonuses.
Yeah, you want things that are like can either fail excruciatingly or succeed amazingly.
But I think with expertise, it's like it won't fail excruciating. You're already getting your proficiency. It's just more. It's like how much bonus you get. I don't know. Maybe the flat bonus is better.
It depends on your playstyle.
Yeah, it definitely depends on your playstyle if you want that stability.
So that's expertise, and you'll get another 2 at level 10.
Christ.
And then there's
expertise.
at 4th level ability score improvement. That's like what
we talked about
before.
those.
You just get to choose another 2 ability scores at
Increase 2 by 1 or 1 by 2.
Yep. Font of Inspiration. At 5th level, you can regain all of your expended uses of Bardic Inspiration when you finish a short or long rest. So this just means that you can also replenish them on short rests.
Yeah, and that's 5th level. That's quite low, actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's something you'll be...
It's likely that you'll
be...
that.
Yeah, you might as well think of bards as having that when you're creating them.
Kind of just pushing you to be like, use these more.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're not using it, use it more.
All right, the last few.
Counter Charm. So, at 6th level, you can use your musical notes or words of power to disrupt mind-influencing effects. Yeah, so this is an action, and you start a performance that lasts until the end of your next turn. So, like in the middle of some big boss fight, you just start playing some sick chords. During that time, you and any friendly creatures within 30 feet of you have advantage on saving throws against being frightened or charmed.
Nice.
Yeah, and the creatures have to be able to hear you to get these benefits. That's kind of something that you might not think about if you're not thinking of the flavor of this, but it's very obvious when you're like, oh, bards.
Yeah,
cast
you're bringing them back to you.
Yeah.
With your music.
Yeah.
Rally! It's quite situational.
Yeah.
As well. I feel if you're fighting goblins, they're not very charming.
Well, just none that you've met.
I'm sorry to any goblin listeners out
I made
there.
some goblin friends in college that I think would.
I would like to apologise.
Really nice guys.
Please don't cancel me. Magical secrets.
This is 10th level. You'll have plundered the magical knowledge from a wide spectrum of disciplines. You get to choose 2 spells from any classes, and you just get those spells known as Bard spells now. It has to be on the level that you can cast in order to get these spells.
So you have to choose ones for spell slots that you have.
Yeah. And then these will just be spells that you know. So you can just have 2 more spells from any other discipline.
Nice.
Yeah, and you get 2 more at 14th level and again at 18th level.
Yeah. So the Bards is quite a bottom-heavy class. There's one more at 20th level that I'll talk about in a sec, but they're quite a bottom-heavy class. By 10th level, you've encountered almost everything the Bard has to offer.
Yeah.
And you just get more of it. You get more expertise later, you get more magical secrets later, you get more ability scores later.
Yeah, and this will help for the
improvements.
versatility of this. This can be kind of an overwhelming one though, where you know, now it's just like open the book of all the spells and choose some.
Yeah, that's right. It's definitely... See, if you're playing with other spellcasters, just choose a cool spell that you've seen other people use.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be able to do that.
Yeah, it definitely helps if you taken cursory glances at like other classes' spells and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can kind of like imagine something that would be useful in situations you've encountered and try to choose those.
And it's something that, if you are an experienced player, you'll be playing a bard so differently than a new player.
Yeah.
An experienced player will be really able to kind of support the party, support the other players.
This is where your opportunity to get those things that you've noticed that your team kind of lacks or would really benefit from.
But then a new player, I think, is gonna make an awfully unoptimized bard.
Fireball.
But they'll have the option to try everything.
Yeah, you can get a little bit of all of it.
Yeah, so like maybe you end up with a really weird spell list. You can change your spells every time you level up as well. You can change one spell, I think we forgot to mention. You can change one spell. The Bard is very, very flexible, very, very versatile. My only complaint would be that it's very straightforward in its openness, if that makes sense.
I guess, yeah, I mean, it is very blank canvas, right? It's nothing special about it like on the surface. It's more about what you make of it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So what's the last one?
Superior inspiration. This is the one you'll never get. It's at 20th level. When you roll initiative and have no uses of bardic inspiration left, you gain 1 use.
So basically, you have infinite bardic inspiration.
Yeah,
as
you
long
have
as
at
you're
least
fighting.
one. Yeah, you have at least 1 per battle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty simple.
It's
It's
fine.
what it is.
Yeah, it's fine. For a
They're
20th
always
level rate.
disappointing,
Yeah.
aren't they? The 20th level. You want to be like gain 5 to charisma,
Yeah.
not modifier.
You can
always
make
want-
people's brain melts with your mind blasting music.
You always want something like that, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. So yeah, the bard has tons of potential. There is a real blank canvas, which is very fitting for an artist class, to really make something kind of special here.
Yeah.
Talk with your DM if you want to bend some of these rules. If you want to create your own little amalgamation.
Yeah, make your own little Da Vinci or DiCaprio.
That is, I like that.
I could be your Da Vinci
fucking brilliant.
or your DiCaprio.
All right, but that's all we've got time for today. We're gonna stop talking about D&D and start playing D&D.
Yeah. See you later, nerds.
Take care, guys. If you have any questions, message me, Toby at rulesaswrittenshow.com.
Yep. You can go to our website at rulesaswrittenshow.com and you can post little audio messages for us there. There's a little
Yeah.
link in the...
We're on
doobly-doo.
YouTube, we're on Anchor FM, rules-as-written, I think we are. You can support us there. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
We love you. Thank you for listening. We got a little spike of listeners. And I'm talking to you right now, Tom. I love you. It's going to freak one guy out, isn't it? All right. See you later, guys. Bye.
See ya.